The Sound.
The sound of Essex. Together we can make a difference. BBC. BBC Essex.
And a very good morning to you, Ben Fryer, here on Monday the 18th of October 2021. Thank you to Sonia for another cracking breakfast show. She's back tomorrow from 6. And thank you, the listeners, as well. It's been a very raw and tough 48 hours or so since the horrific events unfolded whilst we were on air on Friday. But you've helped us. We've mourned together, we've been in shock together, we've cried together, but whatever we've done it together over the last few hours or so. So thank you. We will continue to reflect on what happened on Friday on BBC Essex right the way through until 2 o'clock.
Ben Fryer.
BBC Essex.
But let's start, shall we? And throughout the day, we will continue to reflect on the remembrance of Sir David Amess. Westminster will hold a session after 2 o'clock. So later on in the day, we'll bring you up to date with what is said about Sir David Amess in Westminster. And meanwhile, police have been continuing their searches of properties in London following the killing of Sir David Amess, the Southend West MP. A court has granted police until Friday to question a man arrested on suspicion of his murder. Now, one of the things that emerged over the weekend was that the suspect was referred to the anti-radicalisation programme PREVENT some years ago. The programme has been criticised over time, with some groups saying it reinforces negative stereotypes of Islam and Muslims. Sidra Naeem is a Muslim chaplain in Chelmsford and has received training with PREVENT on spotting the signs of radicalisation. She joins me now. Hello to you.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, thanks for coming and chatting under these circumstances, Sidra. What do you think of the PREVENT programme?
Well, I have been trained a few times now in my role as a chaplain. Some aspects of it don't seem to be working, otherwise terrorism would have stopped. And amongst the Muslim community, there is worries about it. From the beginning, because when PREVENT first started, it was there really to keep an eye on Muslims, because the first aspect of PREVENT when it started was actually to deal with some of the extremism that was going on around the world. And then later on, obviously, other aspects, right-wing extremism was included in there, left-wing extremism was included in there as well later on. So it's the initial aspects when it first started is what Muslims still have got in their minds, that it is there, to spy on them.
How does it work exactly? I mean, how do you detect potential radicalisation, and then how do you then get somebody who's been referred there to actually attend and do something about it when they probably don't want to?
I think they don't have a choice, to be honest, because the police get involved whenever a report is sent, and they don't really have a choice. So they do definitely do attend the initial stages of the PREVENT programme, which is usually talking to them. It's the latter stages, I don't know how they are then filtered through. I think that's where the problem may be. The initial stages I know do take place, because I do actually know somebody who was referred to PREVENT, who actually spoke to, and then, he came off it in the end because he was fine. But it's the latter stages, the filtering process. And I do feel that Muslim people need to be there at the beginning to ask them to discuss about the religion with them, on their understanding of the religion. I honestly believe a non-Muslim may not be able to do that as effectively as a Muslim person. And I think that's where the problems are. The Muslims are not involved in that PREVENT programme at the beginning stages, when that's the time to talk to them. What is their understanding on the religion? Where are they getting their ideas from? And to put them right at the beginning.
And Sidra, do you know what happens when they come off it? Because we're talking about this suspect who was referred to it some years ago. It's emerged over the weekend. But what happens? I mean, surely you can just pretend you're okay. Are they checked, or what? Do you know?
Well, they should be monitored really, and MI5 and people like that, they should really be monitoring them. As far as I know that does happen. Because just like you said, they could say anything, couldn't they, to make people believe things when they're on the Prevent program, just to come out of it. But that doesn't mean that their views and ideas are not still there. They're, twisted ideas. So they should really be monitored. I think it does also boil down to the amount of money and funding that the police have. And I think there is huge lack of funding in the policing department, and that may have an impact on what happens afterwards.
And Sidra, I said you'd received training with Prevent on spotting the signs of radicalisation. What can you tell us about your experiences of the Prevent programme?
I think the initial stages are okay, and I think that the referral happens very, very quickly. I do know somebody who was referred to the police, and within a day or so, they were actually, being, it was discussed within the Prevent program. I think it's the latter.
I think we're just losing Sidra Naeem, but she was just going on to say, and she'd said it before, the initial stages of Prevent seem to work well. It's the latter stages that she was more concerned about. And I think she has, she said she is concerned about, how much money is given towards the scheme in the first place, and how much resources there are once someone is referred to the Prevent programme. Sidra, I'd pretty much covered what we wanted to cover there, what it does, and also whether it is effective or not. The time now is 10:15.